guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing a video that I've seen Casey Holmes do. I haven't seen many other people do it, so this isn't like my original idea. This is just something I thought would be quite useful. I'm going to do like a kind of day to night moment. So I've been wearing this for like quite a few hours, and then I'm just going to kind of top it up, neaten it up, and turn it into like a kind of full-on nighttime look. So I thought that would be really fun. I think we can use like just a few products to do this. I don't think you necessarily need like loads to do this, and I think it's good, like say you've got like your office moment and then you're going to go out a bit later, you can pop either like in the bathroom at work or home and just like sort yourself out without having to like redo your entire face. So I thought that was really a fun idea. So if you like this video or this kind of video, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel before you leave. And if you press that notification bell, you'll be notified every time I upload. So the first thing I like to look at is my base. Like if I was oily, or if this was the summer, this would be the time to kind of top up any like powder, getting rid of any of that oil, blotting, things like that. Now I tend to lose foundation here, in here. Now I'm not necessarily going to go in with more foundation. The best kind of foundation you can go in with to do these kind of things is like a compact foundation. They tend to work the best. I do not have one, so I am just going to go in with a little bit of concealer. So I'm just going to kind of go in with one that matches my foundation rather than a lighter one. So I do have the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Concealer in the lightest shade. As you can see, it's fairly neutral and matches me fairly well. So I just go over the points that I need like a little bit more coverage on, so you have some spots pop up, things like that. I only take a little because you can always add more. I then take my LA Girl sponge. It doesn't have to be wet, this sponge. This is kind of what I like about it. So if you stick it in your bag and then you have to touch up your makeup at your desk or whatever, you don't need to go and wet this sponge. Just adds that bit of coverage back that you were missing from earlier. And then if you've got any patches that are breaking up, you can then go over it again with your sponge. Now to me, a going out look, I need to be more bronzed, I need to glow like more. So for the base first, I wanted to add like a little bit of definition. I am going to pop on a little bit of contour. This is Makeup Geek Contour Pan in Infidelity. You can put it in like a much smaller thing than this, so you can just like fit it in your purse if it's just one little kind of thing you want to add. I'm going to try it with this Jack Willis brush that I got in like a brush collection for my birthday. It's kind of like a softer, fluffy like brush, just that it'll fit right in the apple here. Just take a little bit, buff and blend, buff and blend. This to me adds some definition. If you add this, you don't necessarily have to add more bronzer if you don't want to. I will probably just add a touch, and to me that's just added like a little bit of shape. So I am going to even that up and we'll go in with bronzer. This is also the time where if you're confident and comfortable, you can add nose contour. Try not to, it doesn't look so hot on me. So next we're going to go in with bronzer. So now, because I'm not too fussed about placement, I will just take my big Technique blending brush. I will go in with a bit of my Hoola bronzer from the Get the Pretty Started palette from Benefit, and then just bronze very slightly over the top because it's very easy to go overboard. Like if you feel like you picked up too much, put it on the other cheek, buff that cheek in, and then you can move on to the next one. I will then also kind of go around the hairline and focus some of this darker bronzer on the hairline. I tend to use a lighter bronzer if I can in the day, and then like a deeper bronzer works pretty well for me in like a dark like nighttime look. That to me just adds like a huge amount of warmth. I feel like with that contour it has this darkness like here that does create some shape that the bronzer alone doesn't. So next I would maybe top up a little bit of blush. I'm not so sure today, like I need to just top up like a touch. I don't feel like this is like always necessary with the blush actually. So if you want, you can just add like a touch more. See, I barely dipped into my California blush, also in the Get the Pretty Started palette. Barely dipped in. There is no need for a lot because we are going to veil over this. It looks so intense at the moment. Do not worry, we are going to sort that out. So I am taking my Coty Airspun powder and I'm going to veil with that. It's so good for like keeping it smooth. So initially, just to get that coverage, I will stamp the powder on and then I will buff and blend, because I find that this helps blend your products together, and if you focus it up here, you're less likely to drag product down and get that 5 o'clock shadow. If you feel like you have gone too far, that's okay. You can just carve it out with your sponge. You can literally just take your sponge and wipe away some of that product. This is also useful if you wanted to around the hairline as well. I sometimes have that problem, especially if it's not like blended properly. Like I tend to have problems up here with the blend. So I'll just go and buff rather than stamp, because I never feel that the colour's the problem so much as just the blending, you know? So one of the next big things for me is glow. Like I will wear a bit of a lighter highlighter during the day, but if I'm going out, then I do like a bit more of an intense glow. So I'll take my Luxe Powder Fusion brush and I'll go in with my Ofra Highlighting Pillow Talk. They do have the new white packaging, which I think is really nice, but I have the old one. The formula, I believe, is the same for the highlighters, it's just the packaging that's changed. This is a nice pink toned highlighter, so if a pink tone's what you like, then I would suggest this one. There are highlighters that Ofra have, like Rodeo Drive, that are like a goldy champagne toned highlight, if that's what you're interested in. With the intense ones like this, you do have to like buff and blend. You do not want it to just be like a streak of glow on your face, although look how pretty that is. You do just make sure to blend. Don't pick up loads of product and then think that's going to look pretty. You need to just be aware, you know. I then tend to top up my nose highlight, especially on the end, as normally I have like put some concealer on the end of my nose, the top of my lip, and then just above the brow bone. I'm quite happy with my brows. I don't feel like they need any filling in or anything, so I'm not going to be doing anything more to my brows. There's no need. I am just going to take some of that highlight though and highlight under the brow bone, because it's not something I actually do in the day. I don't find it like necessary. So to me the base is looking a bit better. You can always continue blending. You can always add more powder to like your shiny areas if you're oily. I think next what I'm going to do is we're going to move on to eyes. I think adding eyeshadow is one of the things that definitely takes you from like day to night, if you know what I'm saying. I have already prepped my lids with an eyelid primer. I feel like an eyelid primer makes everything go on smoother. I use MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre, which I would show you, but I can't find it in the mess that is my desk. To be honest, I don't think you need like a complex look, and that is not like what I'm there for either, in terms of like a day to night look. Now I am going to use the Juvia's Place Magic palette, and it is big. You're not going to necessarily like fit it in your work bag or want to. There are other palettes you can use. Just a simple like 3 shadow look is all we're going to do today, so you can use most palettes for that. So like literally we are going to use 3 shadows here, and that's going to be enough for me. Oh, and technically this one counts. I have like already set my lids with Kessie, so I am going to go into this like orangey shade Nana with my Morphe R39 and just pop that in the crease as our very basic transition. I feel like this is a super pigmented palette, so be aware that you will have to like dip and blend mostly, and that will mean that you'll get like a very nice even coat, and you will get like the amount of product distributed in the right places. So there's windshield wiper motions taking from around here and up and into the crease, and then above the crease just a little bit, just to get that colour spread nice and evenly and get a lovely little fade. Because if you focus it in the crease, you're better off doing that and pulling it outwards, because otherwise then what happens is like you'll just get like bright orange everywhere, and that's not like an attractive fade. See, I really like that like on its own, like as like a daytime look you can always just pop one shadow in the crease. That tends to be what I do normally. Like if I'm running behind, then I'll leave it, but I just find that it gives a bit of like depth and dimension, whereas normally, because I like put foundation and concealer all over my entire lid area, if I don't do that, like it can look quite flat. So just adding one colour to the crease like here, it's just super quick and easy, and it's just something that can like prevent that like flatness and add something a bit more interesting. So I'm now going to take my Morphe M433 and dip into Zakaya, I think it is, above Nana, and we're just going to pop that like much more like focused in the crease. Just start here, circular motions here, and then pulling it out with those same windshield wiper motions, focusing more centrally, just on the crease here. You can bring, like I have a problem where if I literally just go, like I'm not going to get like a blend. because when you do that you see this gap here, so I do have to pull down and then just give it a little further blend. Just here I can then like open it up again, continue to blend, but just at the end I do have to just finish it off by opening my eye, like by closing my eye a bit and focusing here. Do you know what I'm saying? So just be aware that certain eye shapes, that is going to have to happen. Also at this point, if you wanted to add like a lower lash colour, you can do with this brush. I tend to just go in with my transition and pop it under the lash line just very gently. There's no need for like a lot unless you're going for like a super heavy smoky look. Okay, so now we're going to go into the shimmer. Like this is my absolute favourite shadow of all time, like all time completely. This is Ozone and it's just this beautiful like pink toned like shimmer. Like I dip my finger in, it is the way I like to apply my shimmers. I will go in and neaten it up with a brush, but like, would you look at that? That is so pretty. To neaten it up, I will just take a brush. It should normally be wet and you can wet the brush. For me, I don't normally wet it just because I'm only taking a little bit of product and just making sure down here has a little bit of that lovely pink and that we're all filled in nice and evenly around there, especially because when you do your finger you can pick up a bit too much. So I just like to kind of smooth it over with the brush like so, and then you can kind of consider blending, just because you want to make sure you've got that product on properly and in the right places before you start blending and it all looking a right old mess. So I then took a little bit of Sakaya on my Morphe M433 and I'm just pulling a little bit of that colour across onto that pink shadow and then back over. I have like the right shape lid for this, it just fits nicely on here. You can do this with a smaller blending brush, like a little detailed crease brush, if that works well for you. And then just blend in the crease here, just to marry those shadows together, really nice and soft. I then to take whatever's left over on my Morphe R39 and blend the edges of the look I've just done, just because I find that harsh lines just appear out of nowhere. And I say appear out of nowhere, I've definitely created them somehow, but I just feel like it just eases all those harsh lines, blends anything going on up here together, and it's so much nicer, and especially if you want to blend out your lower lash line if it's looking harsh like mine always does. I'm then going to use my same BH brush here, just to pop some of that highlight in the inner corner, just to bring a bit of light to it, you know? I feel like otherwise you can add loads of shadow, it can look super dark, but just opening that inner corner up is just so pretty. Obviously this lipstick from today you can remove if you want. Mine is near enough gone, so you then pick like another lipstick that you perhaps want. I think I'm going to go for like a bit of a softer colour, so I think I'm going to take my Sugar Pill liquid lipstick in High Tea, and this is what we are going to wear with this. Personally, I just think it ties in that pink that you have here. You can really go in with any shade. I think maybe a nude would also look nice. Like a nude may look a little bit better. I'm not 100% I'm happy with this lip colour. I think that looks better to me. This is the Maybelline Superstay liquid lipstick in Loyalist. This to me just looks so much better. I think then what we're going to do is we're going to like reset the makeup. If you've added more powder product, setting your face is like an important step, because otherwise you can just look super powdery all over again, especially if you're oily and you've gone in and like blotted. So I've just set my face. My hair looks a hot mess, we'll just ignore that. I think the only thing missing is like mascara. I think if your mascara has worn down at this point, and especially if you're putting eyeshadow on, you need a top up. So I've got my Benefit by Gal Bang Bang. You can really use any mascara that is your absolute favourite and just put another coat on. I like to use this one because I know it layers well, like on top of other mascaras and things like that, and I know it's not going to be too clumpy or anything. So this is the final look. I am so happy with it. Like I feel like day to night is something that I don't show very often, but I do loads. Adding lashes is also a fabulous way of like doing it all up. I honestly don't wear lashes too often, so I absolutely love it. I've had a lot of fun playing with the makeup, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the video as well. So if you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel before you leave. And if you press that notification bell, you'll be notified every time I upload. Thank you for watching.